I am Ashok Kumar, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Ramco Institute of Technology. Today, we are going to discuss about the steam nozzle and how to derive exit velocity of steam in nozzle. So, in Anna University syllabus, ME 8595 Thermal Engineering, as per the syllabus, the first unit is steam nozzle. Today we are going to discuss about what is steam nozzle and we are going to derive the velocity at the exit of steam nozzle. A nozzle is a device of varying cross-sectional area in which the pressure energy of fluid is converted into kinetic energy. If the fluid is steam, that type of nozzle is called as steam nozzle. So this is a schematic diagram of steam nozzle where at the inlet is represented by 1 and the exit is represented by 2. At inlet, the steam pressure will be high, the velocity will be low. At exit, the pressure will be low and the velocity, which means we will have high kinetic energy. Types of nozzle. There are mainly 3 types. First one is convergent nozzle, second one is divergent nozzle, and the third one, predominant one, mostly used nowadays is convergent divergent nozzle. So in convergent nozzle, the inlet area, cross-sectional area, will be higher than exit or outlet area. So the portion of nozzle is converged. That is why is called as convergent nozzle. The second type of nozzle is divergent nozzle, where the inlet area is less than the exit area. So the portion of nozzle is diverged. So this is called as divergent nozzle. And third one is convergent divergent nozzle. It is the combination of convergent and divergent. So the 1 to 2 is represent the convergent portion. The 2 to 3 is represent the divergent portion. In general, the convergent portion length will be lower than the divergent portion length, which means to prevent the flow separation at wall, the length of the divergent portion is high, and also the angle of divergent portion is limited to 7 degrees. So next we are going to derive the exit velocity of steam in a nozzle. So for that, consider a convergent nozzle. The entry height is Z1 and the exit height from the reference is Z2. It is an open system, so we can apply steady flow energy equation for the nozzle. This is our steady flow energy equation, which is H1, the enthalpy at inlet, plus V1 squared by 2. It is a kinetic energy at inlet. Z1, it is the potential energy at inlet. Q is a heat interaction in the system. This is the total energy available in the steam at inlet, which is equal to the total energy available at outlet, which is H2 plus V2 squared by 2 plus Z2 plus work interaction. So here we take assumption Q equal to 0. The heat interaction between system, which is nozzle here, to the surrounding is 0, which means adiabatic. So we can neglect the Q term from steady flow energy equation and no work interaction. where in nozzle the expansion is happening without any work interaction. So we can neglect the work interaction term W. So we can rewrite the steady flow energy equation as H1 plus V1 squared by 2 plus ZZ1 equal to H2 plus V2 squared by 2 plus ZZ2. Z1 and Z2 is the height of nozzle at inlet and outlet from the reference. Here it is equal. Z1 and Z2 are equal. So we can neglect the term ZZ1 and ZZ2. So this is a steady flow energy equation applicable for steam nozzle. H1 plus V1 squared by 2 equal to H2 plus V2 squared by 2. So we can rearrange this equation to find the exit velocity. So move the V1 squared by 2 term into the right hand side. So V2 squared by 2 minus V1 squared by 2, which is equal to H1 minus H2. So V2 squared by 2 minus V1 squared by 2 equal to H1 minus H2. So take 2 as common and cross multiply. V2 squared minus V1 squared equal to 2 into H1 minus H2. V2 squared equal to V1 squared plus 2 into H1 minus H2. So V2 exit velocity of steam in nozzle equal to square root of V1 squared plus 2 into H1 minus H2. So this is a formula to find the exit velocity. So here we have to use or we have to substitute H1 and H2 value in joule per kilogram to ensure the unit homogeneity. So I will explain how it is possible. As per Newton's second law, we know that F is equal to ma. The unit for force is Newton, for mass kilogram, for acceleration meter per second squared. Multiply both sides by meter, so we can get Newton meter equal to kilogram meter squared per second squared. So Newton meter per kilogram equal to meter squared per second squared. We know that Newton meter, 1 Newton meter equal to 1 joule. So joule per kilogram equal to meter squared per second squared. So here we are having velocity and enthalpy, and we are going to add both. So the unit should be same. So velocity unit is meter per second. So V1 squared is meter squared per second squared. So H1 and H2 should be in joule per kilogram, because 1 joule per kilogram equal to 1 meter squared per second squared. So the V2 equal to square root of V1 squared plus 2. The 1000 is introduced here to convert the kilojoule per kilogram, in which the unit we have get from the steam table. So V2 equal to V1 squared plus 2000 into H1 minus H2. So in general, V1, the inlet velocity of the steam in nozzle, will be very low compared to exit velocity. So we can neglect V1 squared. So we can rewrite the exit velocity equation V2 equal to 2000 into H1 minus H2. If you take 2000, square root of 2000 out, so 44.72 into H1 minus H2. So we should ensure that where we should substitute the H1 and H2 in kilojoule per kilogram, because we already modified the equation for the unit of kilojoule per kilogram. Thank you. I hope enjoy this video.